Eric Sheetaber. We're going to be talking through tonight's 5-game NBA slate. We'll be live again later today at 6 Eastern, I believe. And yeah, I didn't play NBA last night. I threw one lineup in and it min cashed. So
and it did not. And I guess it did not have Elf Payton.
It did not have Elf Payton. Oh. So that's why it was a min cash. But you know what it had? My only contrarian play was Denny Avdia, who had 40 fantasy points.
Everybody had 70 fantasy points,
and he was 3K, but he was 3%. I think he's the reason I cashed. At least I thought he was. But even Franz, who got off to a terrible start, had like 30 in the second half. So at least that saved my reputation because I was getting a lot of Franz hate. Because at least he didn't actually. You couldn't have won with him, but he wasn't going to blow up a lineup that could have cashed anyway. But I did not do well in the football. It was the game played out sort of like I thought it would. Just didn't get the right receivers. Sheets, talk about your night. You had the nice NHL win, and talk through what you did.
So let's again. I'm really against crafting narratives to suit what works. But I would just like to say that in the last 3 days, I've taken down GPPs in 3 different sports.
Let's go! I love it.
The golf PGA, the par 4, and the FanDuel Monster.
Yep.
And yesterday the hockey.
Yep.
So I thought that was the plan, whatever. But play every sport. You put yourself in a position, and I was very happy about that.
Awesome.
Full takedown. Hockey is usually like that, though. It's very, very rare that you ever get duped in hockey.
Yeah.
But basketball was no good. Football. So I think I'm kind of getting punished for this one. So I was actually really anti-playing J.K. Dobbins, right? Mm-hmm. I was really going to X him out, and I was actually watching the Ship and Nation thing where Hoop and those guys do their thing.
Yeah.
And Hoop was coming on and saying, "I'm completely Xing out Dobbins." I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna be in on this. So I actually put it through their Discord. I'm like, I'm in with you on this one, and we'll go to the soup kitchen together, right? So already I have negative, probably some negative vibes from that whole thing. And so then Dobbins was totally on track to smash it,
right.
And I'm like, oh, God help me. And then I saw that Q tag come up under his name. I'm like, did I get lucky? And so he busted by accident, and I completely X'd him out, and I still got crushed. So that was that. I don't even remember what I did. I didn't play Hill that much, I guess. I don't even know what I did wrong, but I did cash. I min cashed in the Wildcat. So that's something.
Yeah.
But the MME stuff was not to be had. But today is just NBA. There's only a 1-game hockey slate. So a couple announcements to take us to the end of the weekend. And again, this is partially for my own benefit. Mm-hmm. So tonight we just have NBA. Bobby and I are going to be there at 6.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, Bobby is out. I am going to be doing definitely a live thing before the huge slate tomorrow night, and I'm probably going to do a preview. In addition to that, there's a chance that I do a slate preview for Thursday, but I doubt it. What's going to happen on Thursday for Thursday's NFL slate is Bobby and I are planning on going on live at 11 o'clock, where we could exclusively talk about the Thanksgiving Day NFL slate. And who knows, throughout the course of the day, before I go to my in-laws, maybe I'll pop in some more stuff. And then on Friday is an NBA slate, kind of akin to the Christmas slate that starts at about noon or whenever it is. I'll be covering that. Bobby is going to be displaying his golf skills.
Friday is baseball.
Oh, Friday's baseball.
Friday's a good one. Friday.
Up for the golf.
Yeah, I'm the worst player on our foursome in golf by 5,000 miles, and I'm one of the better couple.
Yeah, your goal then is golf is to not throw your back out in golf.
Yeah,
you have to look like load management so you're healthy for the baseball.
That's right.
So Bobby's got baseball action on Friday, so I will take care of that. And then the plan is to do an NFL preview show for the Sunday slate on Friday. There is no ancillary sports this weekend. There's no golf. There is no MMA. There is no NASCAR. There is no nothing. So Saturday, you probably won't see me. And then on Sunday, The plan is to go live at 11 a.m. as usual for the NFL slate. Will you be there for that?
Yep.
Great. So that is the plan, and hopefully you guys all heard that, so you can remind me so that I don't forget. But for now, we have a nice little, tidy. Was it a 4-gamer tonight?
Five.
5-gamer. So let's. I guess I'll share my screen.
Yeah.
We'll
go. Yeah. I only first look, and again, it's first look, and it's near the holidays, so you'd be ready for a lot of stuff. But even the value that's showing up at like in the 3Ks, I just think is really fishy. So unless we might need some more value, I think we're probably going to get it just based on the way things are going these days. And remember, this is some sort of a back-to-back for basically every team because everybody plays tomorrow. So
how did those clowns do yesterday? Did Moses Brown play?
I didn't even. You know what? I didn't check that one.
I didn't either.
Good question. I should have taken a look at that one.
Elf Payton outscored Jokic. That's the line.
Yeah, Elf Payton outscored. Jokic didn't play in the fourth quarter, basically. So that was weird. That was. I think it might have been the lowest I've ever seen Jokic score in a game.
Shows what we know. We were like, Denver should be favored. I was like, it sounds good to me. Knicks just came out and blasted them.
They made what did they make? 8 of 9 threes though. Early, it was like it was a beatdown by the Knicks.
Yeah, maybe the Knicks are not the worst. We'll see.
No, they might bounce back. But yeah, so did you have any overall things on today? Because
I agree with you with respect to the lack of value. I actually ran some builds and whatever, and I'm getting just all the mid range. But I am getting to Giannis, and we'll get to him. Whatever. But let's go game by game here. I guess.
Yeah, let's do it. And let's see, we've got Chicago and Washington first, which is definitely. I think it's going to be a little faster than the last one they played. It's got a 245 total. That's just a monster total, way ahead of everybody else on the slate. So this is something I think you want to do some stuff with. Who's standing out to you?
Yeah, for me, 3 of the top 5, and 8 of the top, and 4 of the top 10 are coming from the Washington side of this game in general. With respect to the whole slate, like I have Jordan Poole as best play on the slate, point per dollar, and then I have Kuzma right there. So these are 2 guys that can really fill it up. I don't know if you could play them together for some reason. You know what I mean? I guess I shouldn't be that greedy on a 5-game slate, but so okay, Poole and Kuzma, and then I have Alexandre Sarr at 5K, and then Valanciunas at 4,800, and so 4 of the top 10 plays are coming literally from the Washington side. On the Chicago side, I actually have Giddey as the best overall point per dollar play, like better than say Vooch and Levine, but I certainly can't argue with Vooch and Levine. So I think that some kind of stack of all the guys that I just mentioned, and putting a number up on the board is certainly reasonable.
Yeah, I think so too. It's just this game total is crazy. And for what it's worth, I like Poole better than I do Kuzma if he plays. Now, if Poole doesn't play, then we have a whole bunch of other stuff. Malcolm Brogdon, who already is in play, is
Malcolm Brogdon. I forgot about him. He's back.
It would be the chalk, yeah. And he's had some good games. And he hasn't really played a ton of minutes or anything. They've sort of been spreading him out, trying to get the young guys incorporated. But if we do lose Poole, you're definitely going to want to play the other guys. I think this projection that Saberson has and yours look a little bit more reasonable. Goldie's looked a little bit more reasonable. The projection of 38 for Kuzma, which I don't believe he's gotten to all season long. Now I know it's a good matchup, but they just had a good matchup against Indiana, and he played 30 minutes, had 11 fantasy points. It has not been the Kuzma. He's had one game. Oh no, he had one game this year where you got 50. Everything else has been in the 30s or below. So I prefer the Poole to Kuzma if they're both available. I am totally fine, though, with Kuzma in this matchup. It just makes me a little nervous because if he's going to be this popular and yet he's done nothing to justify it this season with the new role and sort of the way they're playing, it makes me a little bit nervous. But I like Koulibaly would be my next favorite after Poole. I'm fine with Sarr, and then I like Brogdon a little bit. I think you're probably going to end up finding yourself, especially if Poole's out, getting 3 or 4 from this game in most of your lineups.
What do you think about Valanciunas?
I think it's an interesting tournament idea because there's a Vooch is pretty good against guys who just aren't quite as big and strong as him. So maybe he ends up getting more extra run because of Sarr. Not quite being the defensive stopper that he may someday become. So I'm good with it as a tournament play for sure. It's not like a guy I'm going out of my way for, but I don't mind it if I got there. All right, we have Milwaukee in Miami. No games that start at the same time tonight, so at least that's more relaxing for the late.
Okay, yeah, I guess so. So I'm actually able to get to a decent amount of Giannis today, like 20, just like 25, 30%. So there is enough value for me to at least get to that, which is obviously always a good thing. Now, again, we've talked about this before, and I was watching a video on a real sharp sports bettor who I follow. It's good. He's a friend of mine too, Dan Abrams. He's like a Raz guy back in the day. Anyway, he talked about trends and hit on the same type of sticking points I always have with people following trends. And usually, like when somebody says something, the Vikings have beaten the Packers like the last 17 times, it's not really relevant because only like 2 guys on the team,
right,
are back from whatever. But since Spoelstra has been the coach of Miami, Milwaukee just can't do anything against them.
Especially Giannis, by the way. Remember my old rule was no Giannis in Milwaukee, Miami.
Yeah. So even though they're different players, it's the same. Butler's still there, and it's the same coach. Okay. Yep. So that does concern me a little bit to play too much Giannis. I remember this even on Christmas or whatever. They would just own him. I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, he does look like a good play, but I do have those, kind of scheme concerns. I guess that's the best way I can describe it. And no, I do not think that projections account for that stuff. As far as Miami guys go, I'm not really getting it too much, if anything. But Butler was my hero the other night. Actually, he had a very nice game, and yes, they went to overtime, but he was doing well before overtime.
Yeah,
I think he had like 50, 55 before overtime. Mm-hmm. He still has it in him. You know what I mean? Like in the right motivation, in the right setup, and he's always really he's under 8K every day. So I don't really have a problem with trying that. Lillard 8,900. Certainly that doesn't look bad. I don't know. That's pretty much all my commentary.
Yeah, I wish I had more interest in this game as a whole. I think Lillard would be my favorite piece from Milwaukee. Okay. It's not quite the same situation they used to have against Giannis, but it's hard to argue with Giannis and the usage and everything. Especially if we end up getting more value and other guys are out, and somehow Giannis looks like an easy play, I'm just very happy to fade it and play Lillard instead. If I played anybody from Milwaukee. On the Miami side, I really like Jimmy Butler. Actually, I feel like the price is fair. He's been more active in the last two. I have a feeling that this is a good Jimmy Butler game. You could argue for Tyler Hero too because Milwaukee plays a drop coverage and can leave guys open for 3. But those are my 2 favorites, and Bam would be my 3rd favorite if I had to pick now. The Kevin Love projection is only. It's like use in case of emergency. Like if there's no other value, then you can talk about Kevin Love and the 15, 16 minutes he's going to play. But as of right now, I know he put up 28 yesterday or whatever. At 4K, we would take it. But it's hard to justify when the guy's playing sometimes 10 to 16 minutes, basically most nights. So that's my only thoughts there. A large field for Miami. I would include Alec Burks. He's gotten more run recently. We know he sort of can trend, and he's 3,600. It's just worth taking a stab at him as a contrarian play, I think. All right, Houston and Minnesota.
It's really weird. So I don't know why I just pulled this up. So I was looking at Sengun, and not every once in a while, sometimes he just doesn't score a lot of fantasy points. I was trying to get into sometimes wide. And it's so funny, in his last game, against Portland, if you just look at the line score, it doesn't look like it would be bad. You know what I mean?
Right.
36 minutes, 7 for 17, 8 of 11 from the line. He ended up with only 22 real life points, which is fine. And he only had 38. I was trying to I guess he was just really just offline with his rebounds, I guess.
Yeah, he only had 5.
Usually gets more than that.
Yeah.
And when you look at the games, it's a back-to-back games against Portland. He didn't do all that well.
Right.
But then again, the game before that was a blowout. He only played 25 minutes. But yeah, every once in a while he throws these duds up, but then he still has these wild games sometimes where he get like 18 rebounds and 15 rebounds and stuff. And this other game here with 11 assists against Chicago. That was, 11 assists in 26 minutes. I don't know what that is.
That's amazing. That's Chicago defense for you.
Yeah, it sure is. Okay, so with that said, I don't really have too much in this game. Gobert, who I just don't really play too much in DFS in general, he certainly looks reasonable at 6,600. I will say that. Aside from that, I'm really just probably avoiding this. Wait, Jabari Smith again, 4,500, maybe worth a stab. Amon Thompson, 5K. Okay, so that's what's going to happen. So you're going to get this Amon Thompson at 5K just because of the lack of 3K value. Yeah. So I think Thompson is probably going to be a play.
Yeah, it's interesting because it's always hard to figure out with Houston more than like any team, and it's interesting that the one night that Dillon Brooks is super chalk. Of course, he puts up his biggest game of the year, and here he is only 400 more expensive, and yet has no projection basically whatsoever. So just kind of weird to see. And what should be a competitive game, I actually don't mind. I would say like this: like I like the idea of getting to at least two of these wings, like whether it's Brooks, Jabari Smith, Eason, and Thompson. And I don't know which. I think right now I'm leaning Jabari Smith and Eason as my favorites, but I'm certainly fine with Thompson. And Eason, we know has just a big ceiling, and all these guys, if you look at their game logs, it's like every other game because they'll blow up and then they'll do nothing. But it's because they just can't all play at the same time, and it's hard to guess which one it's going to be. But Thompson, Eason, Smith, then Brooks. But I'm probably going to be playing at least two of those guys in a good portion of my lineups because I like this. It's going to be a competitive game. There's not that much value out there. If everything was done right now, I think I would be on those guys. And I don't mind the Şengün play at all. Just again, I'm not sure how much I'll get there, but he would be my slight preference over Fred VanVleet. Although you got Fred VanVleet just paying all of his money to the officials this year. Narrative going on.
What happened?
He keeps fighting with the officials, and he's like been very demonstrous, and he's talked about them in that post game. So today he was fined 50,000 more. So I don't know what that means for his game, but maybe he's got a little extra bone to pick. Maybe he shoots a little bit more. Just throwing it out there as something to look out for.
You see what went on with UConn with the UConn game?
Yeah, but I didn't see what happened during the game. I just saw the press conference.
Well, I mean, there were some fishy calls, but whatever. I mean, this guy Hurley is, listen, you're gonna win two straight national championships basically in a tuxedo. You know what I mean? Like without being pressured, like for a single game for like two straight seasons. I mean, you've got, you have I don't say you have an unlimited pass, but very few people are allowed to criticize what you're doing right now.
Right.
But he's always been kind of he's been a bit of a tough guy. He's from a tough family, and he's always been very hard on his players, and he's always been very hard on the refs. And this particular case, he was, just kind of got shown up a little bit because they ended up losing. There was a kind of a fishy call, I guess, and then he eventually just got a technical. But he gets on the refs like literally all game long, and you just that's always been what he is. And what can I say? That's what happened.
Yeah,
that's what happened.
I just say I know a lot of people were upset about it, but it pretty much just looked like the way that he's always been.
I mean, all of a sudden people are mad. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Always been like that.
People hate when any of these winning teams that ever complain about anything.
One of the things he said was great. He says, I can't remember the last time a team, the back-to-back national championships, got a call like that against them.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah, it was brutal.
That's not a great look.
No, definitely.
That's wild.
But it's funny. He's trying to be, in some sense, he's trying to be kind of like, what's the guy's name from the Celtics? The coach.
Mazzulla.
He's trying to troll like Mazzulla, but he's really, really not good at it. Hurley. I mean, he's something like, well, why did I fell down? I must have fallen down because I was shocked at the absurdity of the call. He tried his best to be like to be a little of a troll, but he doesn't have that in him. He's too much like his dad. There's no way he can be sarcastic.
Right.
Anyway, All right. So San Antonio, Houston.
Yeah.
Excuse me, Utah. So
Yeah.
So I have a couple of thoughts on this, I guess. So I have two Utah guys as two of my top five, Keontae George and Walker Kessler, as far as point per dollars go, and then down a little bit I have Sexton. So it sets up for the idea of a game stack, and what I like is that, I mean, right now I ran my sims and I ran my lineups and I was getting like almost zero Wembanyama,
Mm-hmm.
and I can't imagine that not being the case, but it's just so easy to pivot from Giannis to him, based on everything I just said about maybe Giannis maybe having some macro risk against Miami or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a tremendous play to play Wemby along with those Utah guys.
Yeah, I got Wemby as one of my core guys, and I'm gonna make I think we got to start playing Castle regularly at this price. I like the matchup anyway, but Castle has been these rookies. It sometimes takes a few games to get going and everything. He's been awesome. Yeah, if you look at his charts, it's all green and for the last month basically. I'm very interested in Castle and Wembanyama as actually potentially like core pieces. And Chris Paul, it always feels weird when you think about the age and the stuff, but his numbers have been decent enough. If other things, I think he's going to end up really low owned because I think something else will open up that we haven't even thought of yet. But if he doesn't, I would absolutely be okay with the Chris Paul play, but I prefer going to Castle instead. Harrison Barnes, for whatever reason, has had some huge games in a row. It's kind of hard to ignore a guy who's 10x'd his price tag like 9x'd it 3 times in a row. I guess we have to consider Barnes into that value right now. And if he gets faded, if people fade off of it later, you could say it's fluky. Yeah, he's been hot shooting, all these things, but 4,500 for a guy who keeps putting up 35 to 40, it sounds good to me. So I like all three of those guys. And on the Utah side, like you, I have the George play. He's the one they seem to just, no matter what, give him run. Sexton's minutes seems to fluctuate. Like last time he didn't play more minutes than he usually does, even with the other guys out, with the Clarkson out and whatnot. They gave minutes to Collier and Juzang and all that stuff. But I like Keontae George the most. And Saberson has a huge projection, although it's come down a little bit on Bryce Sensabaugh. You're playing lottery if you're trying to guess this Utah thing, because Sensabaugh, Juzang, Collier, they're probably all going to get similar amount of minutes. And I don't know how we're supposed to guess which one is going to be the most productive. And there's a good chance that one of those guys doesn't get any minutes. So maybe the answer is to play Drew Eubanks off the bench and hope Kessler gets in foul trouble. That's what I've got.
So my friend, we go to the last game, Lakers-Phoenix. My friend Jack was referred to millions of times. He's super, probably the sharpest like non-professional gambler as far as sports betting I know. And he and I have been doing this for hundreds of years, like longer than all of you have been alive. And when the Lakers were playing the Nuggets the other day, he thought the Lakers were like an incredible play. The Lakers were coming off of a pretty bad choke against Orlando the day before.
Yeah.
2 days before. And Denver, and they had like playoff revenge. Like it was all a perfect setup for the Lakers. And Lakers came up completely empty. Like Denver went into LA and won by like 20 or something like that.
Oh yeah, it wasn't even that close. And by the way, they weren't ready for the Westbrook revenge triple-double in LA.
Right.
Yeah,
but one thing I will say, the one thing that was different about that game is that Connect did not start.
Yep. No, I hear you.
And this is that's one of these days they're just gonna have to do it. They're just gonna have to do it.
Yep.
Anyway, it's not. I don't think it's gonna be today, but I don't really have much from this game actually. I'm not getting too much of it in my sims or my builds. I was coming up with reasons why Bradley Beal might not play, but he looks like he's playing. Aside from that, I'm not really getting too much from here.
Yeah, I'm having trouble with this one, and it's my Lakers, so it's even harder to figure out exactly what's happening when Rui comes back into the mix. So, look, Cam Reddish is still starting at 3,600. I don't love it, but assuming that he does in fact start again, which he may not, I think 3,600 for what's likely 20 plus minutes. Just again, if no values out there, I would take a stab there. I still think D'Angelo Russell can have a game at 4,500, but he's really not a part of this main focal team, and that's partly why this team has been better this year. Austin Reeves, I considered. Sort of like you, I'm not really coming up with anything, but I wouldn't mind getting to Anthony Davis. I wouldn't mind getting to LeBron or Austin Reeves. I just don't know that my builds are going to lead me that way. So I'm really not getting to much at all. And then with the healthy Phoenix side, was supposedly healthy. Yeah, Beal and Durant are probable. So I think the only one I would really want to go after, just by logic, would seem like Booker. But if you wanted to, Durant doesn't usually like come and play like just like, oh, he's only going to play 28, 30 minutes after it. And he never has been that guy. He's always come back and played his normal run when he's good to go. And you could argue at 8,300 with the old rivalry with LeBron on the other side. Maybe you could talk yourself into Kevin Durant at very low ownership. That's pretty much all I have for this one.
Yeah.
So I have my main pieces right now, and it's going to change because it's early in the day, and I'm just guessing we're going to have some news on the front end of the back-to-backs and whatnot. But some of these are nationally televised games, so it won't be necessarily as many as we might think. Let me just grab my core over here. So I've got the guys I'm playing: Castle, Levine, Wembanyama, Poole, Harrison Barnes, Jabari Smith, Keontae George, and Jimmy Butler. There's absolutely just as good of a chance that none of those guys end up making it for me by the end of the day. That's what I've got for right now. All right, Sheets. Anything else before we get out of here?
No, I don't think so. I mean, maybe we just pull like the old school Big T and play like five Wizards, 3 Bulls, and then just post a screenshot, say, "Come and get me." I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Why not? Just play the first game. Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense, actually. Although, what if there's that late news? But I guess
obviously, but I think, listen, you'll be in first, for a while.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, guys. Well, good luck to everybody today. I'll see you live at 6 Eastern. And congrats again, Sheets. Nice job. I want to hear tomorrow. I don't even know what sport you're going to have to win on, though, to make it 4 in a row.
I got to win basketball.
Oh, that's right. The basketball was not one of the 3 in a row.
No, I didn't win basketball.
Oh, so there you go. Tonight's your basketball slate then.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Good luck, man.